Hello and welcome to Witchy Wellness Radio. I'm your host, Loren Cellentani, women's holistic health coach and fellow recovering perfectionist. This podcast was created to show you that your body is not in the way. It is actually leading your way. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 7 of Witchy Wellness Radio. And this episode's going to be a little different than the past ones. This is going to be your mid-year check-in, kind of with a different twist. More focusing on your goals with soul. So today we're going to talk about how you're meeting your goals, or maybe haven't even started meeting your goals for the year. And how goals with soul actually, what that actually looks like. And how to figure out and retrain your brain and body how to feel the way you want to feel with your goals. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump right in, everybody. And I sometimes, maybe like a lot of you fellow perfectionists, get stuck in the itty-gritty details of a goal, or maybe a to-do list. For example, maybe your goal was to save X amount of dollars for the year or the month, and really actually sticking to a budget for once. And while you may be accomplishing that goal, maybe you're too deep in the weeds of marking every single dollar, every purchase, every cent, that it makes you focus on the lack of what you don't have, and you always feel very tight in your budget, rather than maybe if you loosen the reins a little bit and didn't go for an exact number, but more so really focusing how you want to feel when you save that much money, or you want to feel like you have enough abundance to do and be and to eat and to have everything that you can ever possibly need. And when we focus on the lack of budget or lack of abundance in our budget, of always either exceeding a budget, or maybe, only having a few cents or a dollar left, like really working hard each month to budget everything in. I know that this is something that I'm working on, is that balance and flow. Is I want to be respectful of my money, of my purchases, of my saving. But at the same time, it's not very fun going in and, line by line and just being like, well, wouldn't it be better if I just tally this all up at the end? Or just trusted that, I know if I really tune in, if I really ask, I know if I'm overspending, if I can purchase this. And, I tell myself in reality, I have this goal of saving X amount of dollars each month. But if I need to go into my savings to get something that I know that I really need, that will really fill me up, and not only fill me up, but will help enable me to help everybody else fill up and coach and teach and share with other people, then, what am I doing with all this money? I'm just hoarding, and I'm stealing from myself, and I'm not only stealing from myself, but other people. So with that budget example in mind, I challenge you guys to maybe get some pen and paper out and pause the audio here, take a few minutes, check in. Are you meeting your goals, or do you have any goals from this year of maybe your health, your energy, your wealth, your love life, anything, and just check in to see what those end goals really are going to make you feel. Because at the end of the day, it's not about losing that 15 pounds or saving that 50 grand or whatever. People, it's not about the money. It's not about the numbers. It's about how you want to feel when you attain that. And why can't you feel that way now? What's stopping you? And when we focus on sometimes too much the details, which I'm a lover of details, and what we resist actually persists even more. So let me repeat that. What you resist persists. So going back to the budget example again, when you are so dialed in and focused on, the lack of money because you're just so tight for your budget, that's how you're going to feel. Or example, maybe with your weight. If you're so focused on that scale, that number, you're not going to feel like enough. You're not going to feel beautiful. You're not going to feel strong. One of the first things that I do with my clients is ask them just to throw that scale away. And if you can do that and truly just tune into how you want to feel in your body, you're going to move mountains. Because when you focus on that goal, first of all, just PSA for people who are still focused on that weight or maybe pant size, that muscle weighs way more than fat. I have no idea how much I weigh right now. I do know that I am gaining some muscle back, a little bit upper body, but more so lower body. And I just go based upon, number one, how I feel energy-wise, strength-wise, but also how I feel in my clothes. And most of the time, I feel great. And if I need to go up or down a pant size, that's fine. And sometimes it honestly fluctuates during the time of the month or, what's going on. And at the end of the day, the size or the number on that scale doesn't matter. What matters is that you're confident in yourself, in your health, and you feel good. Anyway, back to the goals with soul here. And maybe doing a little bucket list of all the different areas in your life that you want to change. And under each of those areas, bullet point how you want to feel, but also little things, really simple things that you can bring in every day to make you feel the way that you want to feel. Now, with a budget example, when you pay a credit card off or pay a bill, I want you to send it off with gratitude. And I like to review, this is so silly. I like to review my credit card statement before I pay it. I pay it online, but I will look at the PDF and see what all I bought. And I kind of conjure up those feelings that I was able to have from those experiences from that credit card purchase. So I kind of bring a couple of the big ones to my mind. And when I click that pay button, I click that send button, I just kind of bring those feelings up and I just send it off like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, more please. You always want to keep affirming what you want more of. And that's just kind of a simple thing. Another budget idea, myself and other friends who have to, either paying off credit card debt, different fees like lawyer fees, divorce fees, things that are heavy on your heart that you may feel some not great emotions around, shame, guilt, blame. I like to think of those purchases as my freedom fees. So yeah, at the end of the day, you don't really want to have to pay off all this debt. You don't want to have to keep paying a lawyer. But let me ask you this. How much is your freedom worth? And if you really get down to it, I think it's worth every single penny that you're paying to either not have to be with that person, not have to be in that debt. Every cent that you send off, realize that it's going to come back to you 7, 10-fold. Money is just energy. But back to the goals with soul, you can do that with your health and wellness as well. Do you want to feel stronger? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to feel more calm? Why do you want to lose that weight? Or a lot of times want to lose the belly bloat or help your digestion. How do you really want to feel? And focus in on those feelings and figure out what you can do each day. So a good thing with digestion or bloating, a lot of the times, I've talked about this before in a previous episode, number 4, let that shiz go. In the show notes, go listen to this if you have any digestion problems at all, usually related to this. But with digestion and bloat, a lot of the times it has to do with undigested feelings. And one of the easiest things you can do with this is before you eat, especially before you eat, but before you do anything stressful or even start your day, find something that aligns you, that calms you and centers you. Something as simple as I take 3 deep breaths before I eat any meal. And a lot of that time I just kind of savor and smell the food, but just by taking 1 second, well, probably like 5 seconds, to take 3 deep breaths, I slow myself down, and it tells you to focus and be present. And when we have these digestion issues, a lot of times we're have undigested feelings, but a lot of times it's stress and always rushing and going from next thing to the next. And when your body's stuck in that mode, it can't fully digest on multiple levels. So, thinking about your goal and how you want to feel and little things that you can add in each day, those are going to add up. And honestly, your actual goal might kind of slip off your mind because you're already feeling that way. So now let's go into the why haven't you started or completed your goal yet. Check in behind your why. Why do you really want to lose that weight? Do you need to lose that weight? Why do you really want to stick to that budget or save that money? Or why do you feel like you need a partner? Are you focusing on the lack? Or are you focusing on the abundance and like what you already have in that goal? And how I kind of like to tap in to see where my point actually lies is, how badly do I want this goal or thing or person or whatever? Am I stuck in desperation? Or am I stuck in gratitude, wanting more? Now, that might not sound like that big of a difference, but let me put it this way. Are you white-knuckling what you want or what you already have and in fear of it losing it? Or are you grateful for the areas that you already have related to that goal, yet you are happy and fulfilled, but also wanting more? So just take a second in with each of your goals, each of your areas, each of the topics, and just think about that goal. How does it feel in your body? Does it feel stressful, constrictive, or does it feel expansive and exciting? Now, I can't tell you how it feels for you. You have to take a second out of your day and check in with this. But just that little trick alone is going to really help you course correct. And maybe you need to let go of that goal altogether. Or maybe it's simply just a perspective shift and kind of tuning in and creating it more with a soulful intention and shifting into concentrating how you want to feel and just letting go of the lack and what you don't have. I want to next focus on this concept of alignment. So once you kind of get the idea of how you want to feel and really digging deep into your soulful goals, I want to focus on this concept of alignment. And alignment to me is when you do something just for you that lights you up. Not for competition, not for the way that it looks. Kind of like I'm talking a lot about self-care here, but not in the way that we normally think of self-care. As in, I need to take a bath or else I'm going to have a meltdown self-care. I'm talking about the kind of things that are proactive that make you so present in that moment that you forget about everything else going on, all of those things that you haven't done, the to-do list, the lack, the not perfect body, the not perfect bank account, whatever. You are fully present in the now. And that's hard to do. When we are just in the society, focusing on what other people are doing through social media, or we're stuck in the past of the woulda, coulda, shouldas, or worried about the to-do list, the future, the anxiety. It's not innate when we're in this mode to take a step back and proactively, not emergency, practice alignment and self-care. Now, I know self-care is kind of a very household concept now, which I love because people need to take care of themselves and that you have a right to take care of yourself. But we're going to have bad days, I know this, and sometimes you need self-care for a more emergency standpoint. But if you want to flourish, if you want to be joyous, if you want to be overflowing with love for yourself, for everybody in your life, and everything that you have and do, then we need to focus on alignment and flow. Alignment can be anything from going on a run. A lot of my friends and clients love, and myself included, love going for runs just for fun. I know that's silly for some of you to think about running for fun, but it's where they can just let go and they're not timing themselves. They're just there breathing. And if they want to run faster, they run faster. If they want to walk, they walk. And for a lot of people, moving their body really helps with alignment and getting in tune with what's really going on. And for me, my practice of yoga has really deepened because it makes me become more aware of my body, combining the mindfulness aspect. Before, surprise, surprise, Lauren's often ethereal land all the time in her head, whether it's like from a good headspace or, a stressed out headspace. A lot of the time I'm not actually in my body. So mindfulness practices combined with physical activities like yoga really helped me align and gets my body and my mind and emotions on the same page in the present moment. So, guys, alignment can look like anything. For me, it can be a yoga class or getting home after work and blasting some tunes and just dancing and shaking it out. And you've probably seen some of my Instagram stories doing this. But my focus through doing things that align with me, all I do is ask myself, what's the most fun thing I can do this moment? And I do that before I jump in the to-do list, before I do the chores, before I start my day, because I want to set my emotional point at the highest possible I can get it. I don't want to wake up and start my day with dread and gloom in the case of Mondays. No, I want to start it feeling inspired, overflowing with love and joy for my life, And this is what alignment can do and proactive self-care can do for you every day. But to help you meet your goals with soul is checking in with yourself and where you can just forget about the world and tune in. And when you're able to do that, something magical happens. The problems melt away, and you are literally changing your vibration, which essentially means raising your emotional set point. You are raising the point in which is a normal for you. You know, moving from the lower states of jealousy and rage and competition, you can slowly move your way up the ladder to hopefulness, happiness, joy, overflowing love for life, teaching, sharing. You start your day in alignment, things are going to change. So, I talked a lot about alignment, but I also bring my goals with soul and how I want to feel into my daily meditation practice. So I wanted to spend a few moments taking you through the steps that I do every day, if not twice a day, that I practice through my meditation to change my emotional state internally before sometimes the things come into my life externally, which is a big shift. So we're going to get a little sciencey here, a little woo-woo here. So we've all heard of Newton and Newtonian physics. You know, we're talking about gravity here, cause and effect, yada, yada, yada. But in this quantum world, this quantum mindset, you can actually feel how you want to feel internally, and that's going to help bring those things. The universe is going to start churning its wheels and start making some magic to bring those things to you externally. So in the Newtonian way, it's, I get a new car, now I'm happy. In the quantum way, you already feel like you have a new car internally. So I'm happy, I get a new car. It's flipped. And now it sounds a little weird. It doesn't really make sense probably right now. But you have to, in this quantum model, become so overflowing and happy with whatever end goal feeling that you want to feel when you get a car, when you lose those 5 pounds, when you have a partner, that when those things externally come up, you already feel that way. And it's just an extra confirmation. As we talked about earlier, that bringing little things in each day to make you feel how you want to feel, you can do that internally too. So, enough about the behind the scenes. If you have more questions, reply in the show notes. I'd love to answer them. I want to do an episode all about law of attraction, maybe even interview one of my friends or have a discussion about it in the upcoming episodes. But for the time being, I want to kind of just simplify it. And let's just get into the meditation practice that I do. So, step 1, sit your ass down. Do not sit in your bed. I have tried to convince myself so many times that I can meditate in bed. It's not going to happen. You're going to fall asleep morning or night because what do you do in bed? Sleep. Well, for the most part. Get a comfy pillow on the floor. I have a meditation cushion. You can sit on a couch, a chair, whatever, your yoga mat, and put some relaxing music on. Start to get yourself in a meditative state. So I have a couple of meditations that walk me through this, but you can do this by yourself very easily. And I'll link in the show notes. The one that I really like that's very simple to use is called The Change Game, and that's by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I will link that in the show notes. I think it's a couple of dollars, well worth your purchase on iTunes, I think, and Android as well. Anyway, so get into a meditative state. So what this means is you start to breathe and focus and step outside of yourself, and you have to focus and fully be in the present moment. It's okay if you start thinking about your to-do list or your body is starting to feel sore from sitting, or maybe you're thinking about all the things you didn't get done the day before. But keep training your brain to be focused, to come back to the present moment, to what you're actually doing right now. And what you're doing right now is retraining your brain and body emotionally, internally, to feel before you get the thing, the relationship, the goal, whatever, externally. So how I like to do this is once I'm in a meditative state and fully focused in the present moment, I like to bring in situations where I've felt the emotion that I want to feel for this specific goal I'm thinking of. So joy, for me, sometimes it's hard to conjure up that feeling, at the snap of a finger. But the thing that I like to think about, and I know all the yogis out there will understand what I'm going to say, is I have a few key post-yoga high moments where everything in life just makes sense. I am so overflowing with love, and it's the most joyous I've ever felt in my life. I bring those moments in, and so I think about myself, silly ass self, driving myself home from yoga class, blasting the tunes in the car, and just dancing and singing my heart out, just because I'm so in love with that moment and that feeling. That's my go-to moment or experience for joy. And maybe you can just conjure up a feeling of joy or love or abundance, but sometimes it's easier to think of an example where you've already felt it and then kind of bring that in, and you can add from there. And that's it. I seriously just get into a meditative state, focus on the present moment, and I start to feel the way that I want to feel. And, closing that, I ask myself, because I'm really connected and tuned in, what are the things I can do today to feel that way? And a lot of times it's 1, 2, possibly 3 things. It's very direct. And a lot of times it's not this long list. It's very simple things that I can do that's not going to feel overwhelming, but it's going to produce that feeling that I was looking for externally, but I already was producing internally. So that is going to do it today with the mid-year check-in Goals with Soul episode. Thank you guys for listening. This is a little bit of a different episode. I just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit. If you have any questions, show topic ideas, or people you want me to interview, please feel free to jump over to my website, lorencellentani.com, and send me an email. Shoot me an email. And remember, open up, surrender, trust, and let your body lead the way. Hey guys, like what you heard today and want to hear more and don't want to wait until the next podcast comes out? Head over to lorencellentani.com/freebie-download to sign up for my free monthly meditation series, Let's Meditate. Now, I only email about twice a month, and one of those always includes a free meditation, which means each of those emails is packed with juicy info, like latest news on the Witchy Wellness Radio, my new blog post, and of course the free monthly meditation series, Let's Meditate. And lastly, exclusive openings for email list subscribers only to work with me. So head on over to lorencellentani.com/freebie-download for this month's feature freebie meditation, which means you can download this month's meditation instantly and not have to wait for the next month to be sent out. Instant download means instant healing. Thanks, and I hope you guys enjoy.